You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello and welcome to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. It's actually the 1st of June today, Saturday the 1st of June. My goodness, this is the third month of this absolute nonsense and episode number 39. So yeah, again, this is going to be more diary than writing today. It's my first full day in Beijing, and although this is coming out about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the time where the most people listen to this, actually probably isn't the time where the most people listen to this at all, but certainly my home time, which is the UK, it's about 4 o'clock. But here it's nearly 11 o'clock. So I've had quite a full day. I met up with some friends and had some lunch. And was going to do some other bits and pieces this afternoon, but struggled with the jet lag, felt a bit tired, really struggled with my sleeping. It's always very difficult to get into a sleeping pattern, particularly when it's an 8-hour time difference. I don't know why when I go to Singapore, I find it really easy. And I don't know why that is. It's possibly because the flight arrives in the evening, local time. So you do a whole flight, but you arrive in the evening and you're tired and you go to sleep. Whereas here, we arrive in, the early afternoon. And I think that's why I find it very difficult to adjust. Whereas Singapore, I can literally, on the full day, I'm basically in Singapore time. I find it relatively easy to adjust. Anyway, so what did I do today? So my friends and I had lunch, and then I didn't do as much as I intended to. I was going to read and listen to some audiobooks and bits and pieces, and I didn't. And then this evening, we went out to a Peking duck restaurant, but the proper traditional Peking duck, and it's popular when they have an app that tells you how far you are into the queue, for a table space. So what we did is we got into the queue whilst we were still at the hotel, and 5 of us went in the end, and we all walked to this place, and we were still 29th in the queue. When we got to, and you have different queue lengths by different table sizes. So there was originally meant to be 9 of us. We had booked a larger table, which was, it was the smallest number. But then I guess they got through the smaller numbers quicker. But anyway, I'm sort of talking rubbish. So we, while still 29th in the queue, we sort of had this fresh fruit juice, and then decided to go and wait in a bar. And although the bar was over the road, because of it was one of these busy intersections where you can't cross the road, you have to use the subway, but the subway's all tied in with the underground system, with the metro system. So we ended up, it felt like walking this really convoluted route just across the road, and we found a little bar and had some drinks. It was all rather pleasant, and we sat there refreshing this app. It's like, we're down to number 27 now. And it seemed to take forever. We had a couple of rounds of drinks, nice chat and bits and pieces. And then when it got down to 13th in the queue, after about 2 hours, we headed back to the restaurant. And it was really good timing, because clearly a lot of the people had been eating and had started eating roughly when we arrived, and had taken a couple of hours to have their meal, had left. And then obviously quite a lot of people had decided not to bother waiting in the queue. So they reserved their places in the queue, but ended up giving up. So we get there, literally arrive at the restaurant, and only 3 places have gone since we've walked back from the bar. And there's still 10 in the queue. And one of the people with us is going, just keep an eye on that. She goes, I reckon a few will have gone. And suddenly the numbers start shooting up. And within 4 minutes of arriving, our table was ready. And so we had proper Peking duck, and I wish I could put videos on here, but this isn't a video podcast, and I'm not going to make a one-off special. But they actually carve the duck in front of you. The back, there's a certain bit which is supposed to be the most tasty, so they cut that up first and serve it to you on a plate, and you get a little sort of side plate with all the dipping sauces, and quite a lot of the stuff you normally get at home. Actually, the cucumber and spring onion and the plum sauce. But there's a few other bits and pieces, like they put a little bit of garlic in, which really adds to the taste, and that's not something to do at home. It was really nice. Then we had loads of other dishes, and it was just really, really good. And apparently it wasn't that expensive. It was about 25 quid a head, but for here, that's expensive. But it is considered one of the best places in town. As I say, downstairs, the lobby area is just full of people waiting. And then when we finally got upstairs, it was just really good atmosphere, really good food, really good company. And yeah, really enjoyed it. So I've had proper Peking duck in Beijing. Yeah, there you go. So you see, life isn't all about writing. And as you've probably realised from some of the other podcasts I've done, we don't always get a lot of time down route to be able to do this kind of stuff. But, it's this is one of those rare trips because it's not a daily flight. We get really good amount of time down route. So it's Saturday now, Saturday evening where I am, Saturday afternoon or morning where the majority of the listeners are. And I've still got all of Sunday, all of Monday, and then we fly home on Tuesday. I am planning to do a little bit of work tomorrow, a little bit of writing, so I'm going to try and do the paper read of chapter 27, although I do need, of the Empress of the Trees, although I do need to find a printer, a business centre at the hotel, because I actually forgot. I meant to bring chapter 27 printed with me, and I completely forgot. But never mind. So yes, and then I'm also going up to meet a friend who lives near one of the airports, meet her dog, because I've seen loads of pictures of her dog but never met him, and going to get some, because it's right by the runways as well, so I'm going to get some nice pictures of some aeroplanes taking off and landing. But yeah, so as I said, more diary than write today, but there are going to be days like that. So this is one of the rare trips where we get a decent amount of time here, so I'm going to do some touristy stuff, and on Monday I'm going to go out into the city and take loads and loads of photos. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'll be back at some point tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.